Learning objective number 6. Define stakeholders and describe their ability to influence organizations. Stakeholders are the individuals and groups who can affect and are affected by the strategic outcomes achieved who have enforceable claims on firm's performance. In other words, stakeholders have a stake or vested interest in the actions of the firm. Stakeholders can influence organizations because they have the ability to withhold participation that is essential to a firm's survival, competitiveness, and profitability. The three primary stakeholder groups are capital market stakeholders, for example, shareholders and lenders. 2, product market stakeholders, those would be customers, suppliers, host communities, and unions. And 3, organizational stakeholders like employees, managers, and others. There are many ways that stakeholders can influence organizations. For example, dissatisfied lenders can impose stricter covenants on subsequent borrowing of capital. Dissatisfied stakeholders can reflect this sentiment through several means, including selling their stock. Dissatisfied employees can organize for collective bargaining. Dissatisfied community groups could express their disapproval by boycotting their firm's goods. Stakeholder groups each have ways of bringing their influence to bear on the firm. Stakeholder management has introduced some interesting notions into business practice. For example, many people believe there are 3 main stakeholder groups: owners, customers, and employees, and that they should be tended to in that order. That is, it is important to begin with the idea that the primary purpose of the firm is to maximize shareholder wealth. Then it is common to introduce notions such as the customer is always right. This suggests that customer interests are to be tended to next. Finally, we get around to looking to the needs of employees if resources make that possible. This is the standard approach, but some firms have turned this idea on its head. For example, Southwest Airlines has been extremely successful by taking great efforts to select the right employees and treat them well, which then spills over into appropriate treatment of the customer. As you might guess, the company assumes that these emphases will naturally lead to positive outcomes for stakeholders as well.